Men more quickly forget the death of their father than the loss of their patrimony. Machiavelli's words strike because they remind you, reputation is wealth, and wealth commands loyalty, fear, and respect long before you even enter a room. Your reputation is the invisible crown on your head. It speaks louder than your voice, it moves faster than your body, and it governs the behavior of those around you before you have uttered a word. People obey not what you are, but what they believe you to be. Understand this and you grasp the battlefield of perception. Ignore it and you step into war unarmed. Reputation is the first strike in any contest. In real battle, generals who seized the narrative of strength, who made enemies believe they were unstoppable, often won before swords crossed. So it is with you. If others believe you lack conviction, they will test you. If they believe you have resolved sharper than steel, they will hesitate, recalculate, and often submit without confrontation. Your image is your vanguard. Guard it as if it were a fortress wall, because the perception of weakness invites invasion. Yet the most dangerous enemy is not outside. It is the voice inside your skull that doubts, hesitates, and flinches under judgment. This enemy within sabotages you long before others ever lay eyes on you. The fear of how people might perceive you leads to timid words, apologetic body language, and a presence that shrinks rather than expands. In modern life, you can see it in the colleague who undermines himself in meetings, prefacing every thought with weak disclaimers like, "Maybe I'm wrong," but instead of standing with clarity. Weak. "Sorry, I just think." Strong. Here is what makes sense. That tiny shift commands, that tiny shift signals certainty, and certainty is magnetic. Think of a disagreement at work or with a friend. If you meet it with anxious defense, your reputation erodes. If you meet it with calm, steady command, the battlefield tilts. You don't need to shout, you don't need to crush. You hold posture, speak decisively, and let silence carry the weight. This is the difference between being dismissed as a pawn and being regarded as a player no one can ignore. Every encounter adds to your record, every impression strengthens or weakens the myth of who you are. Your task is to build that myth deliberately, brick by brick, through discipline of presence and mastery of self. Reputation is the war you fight daily. It is not built once, it is hammered, sharpened, and defended in every small interaction. Win it, and the world bends before you. Lose it, and you will always be on your knees. Your reputation is your crown. Wear it ruthlessly. The mind is the throne. If you cannot sit on it with authority, no one outside will ever bow. Reputation is not built first in the eyes of others. It is forged in the seat of your own perception. When you believe yourself weak, that weakness seeps into your presence like smoke into a chamber. Others inhale it, they mirror it, and without a word spoken, you are already dethroned. History shows that leaders who faltered in their own conviction invited ruin, while those who stood unwavering, regardless of resources, projected an aura that armies and nations obeyed. Strength begins as belief. Doubt begins as betrayal. The throne inside your skull must be ruled firmly, or it will be ruled by fear. Self-perception is the crown you wear before you walk into any room. If you see yourself as lesser, people instinctively treat you as lesser. If you carry yourself as one who belongs, they sense it, even if they cannot explain why. You can watch this unfold in daily life. The person who enters a meeting slouched, hesitant, muttering, is ignored. The one who enters with upright posture, measured steps, and a calm expression draws eyes. No credentials announced, no demands made. It is the unspoken crown of self-command. This is why you must train your mind as a sovereign trains his court. Allow no rebellion from within, because rebellion inside quickly turns into weakness outside. Your inner dialogue is that court. If it is filled with flattering liars, excuses, rationalizations, self-sabotaging whispers, it corrodes your authority. If it is disciplined, direct, and honest, it becomes a council of war. Many sabotage themselves with language before they even act. Weak. I'm not sure this will work, but strong. Here is what I intend to do. Weak. I'll try to speak up. Strong. I will make this clear. Each phrase builds or dismantles the image you project. Words spoken to yourself are rehearsals for words spoken to others. Guard them like edicts. Make them sharp, concise, and commanding. That discipline translates into a presence others feel immediately. Consider a disagreement. Two people clash. One stumbles, explaining, defending, shrinking under imagined judgment. The other remains composed, voice steady, shoulders square, pauses deliberate. The difference is not in facts but in bearing. The one who rules his throne inside commands respect outside. The one who yields to doubt is treated as expendable. Perception follows confidence, not content alone. Learn this and you stop being tossed like a pawn. Ignore it, and you remain at the mercy of others' assumptions. Doubt must be exiled as if it were a traitor plotting to overthrow you. Every time you allow it space, it recruits more weakness, erodes more ground, and soon you have no throne left to rule from. You do not negotiate with traitors, you remove them. Replace the whisper of "you cannot" with the order of "you will." Replace the hesitation of "what if I fail" with the command of "what must be done." The throne tolerates no rivals. Your authority must be absolute within, or it will never be recognized without. Reputation begins long before others speak your name. It begins the moment you claim sovereignty over your mind. Sit firmly. Rule decisively. Exile doubt without mercy. The mind is your throne. Command it, or be commanded. The morning is your battlefield. Before anyone hears your words or sees your actions, the first war is fought in silence against yourself. The way you rise, the way you prepare, the way you meet the dawn announces whether you command discipline or submit to weakness. A soldier does not begin battle by stumbling out of formation. He rises with order, with readiness, with precision. So must you. Your first movements are signals. They set the tone for the day, and that tone spreads into how others perceive you. If you rise sluggish and careless, your body carries that posture into every encounter. If you rise deliberately and strong, that discipline follows you like armor, into every room. Consistency is that armor. History shows us that authority is rarely granted overnight. It is earned through patterns, through routines that prove reliability. A commander trusted by his men is not trusted because of a single decision, but because of the repeated discipline of his conduct. The same is true in modern life. People respect those who show predictable strength. When you show up on time every day, when you maintain order in your environment, when you keep your word, your reputation hardens into steel. Discipline practiced privately becomes authority projected publicly. It is invisible, yet it radiates. You may not think anyone notices your habits, but they do. The one who consistently demonstrates order commands trust. The one who repeatedly shows disorder invites doubt. Small defeats are ambushes. Hitting the snooze button seems trivial, but it is a silent concession. Disorder in your surroundings whispers weakness to your own mind before you ever face the world. Laziness at the start of the day compounds, becoming hesitation later. You cannot allow these hidden attacks to undermine you. A general who loses small outposts soon finds his fortress vulnerable. Each missed step is an opening for doubt to creep in. Each careless act tells your mind you are not sovereign, you are subject. Guard the morning with vigilance, because it is the foundation upon which reputation is built. The difference is visible when you compare two people beginning their day. One rises late, rushes, stumbles into obligations disorganized and apologetic. The other wakes with discipline, takes command of their time, and arrives composed. Weak, sorry I'm late, strong, I am ready. These signals echo beyond words. Others feel the weight of your preparation or the lack of it. A sloppy start is not contained to your bedroom, it becomes part of how the world measures you. A disciplined start is not just personal victory, it is a declaration of command. Morning is where you decide whether you wear armor or chains. Do not dismiss these rituals as minor. They are the drills that sharpen the soldier, the training that builds the predator, the silent signals that crown you before the world ever speaks your name. Your reputation is not built in grand gestures, but in the repeated victories of each dawn. Seize the battlefield and you carry momentum into every encounter. Win the morning and you win the world. In chaos, power belongs to the one who does not flinch. Stillness is not weakness, it is a weapon. The predator that waits, unmoving, unsettles prey more than the predator that thrashes. When you remain composed, others sense danger because they cannot predict your next move. In strategy, unpredictability itself is force. Stillness is the mask that conceals calculation, the shadow that hints at hidden strength. People project their fears into silence, imagining what you might do, and their imagination often punishes them more than your actual action would. The calm predator rules because others cannot read his intentions, and uncertainty breeds respect. Psychology confirms what warriors already understood. Composure signals authority. Studies show that people perceive calm individuals as more powerful, more confident, and more trustworthy. A leader who speaks slowly and deliberately is judged, stronger than one who rushes and rambles. This is why in negotiations, the person who sits comfortably in silence commands the room. In every environment, calmness is read as control, and control is read as strength. You may not realize it, but the smallest gestures, the stillness of your hands, the steadiness of your eyes, speak louder than entire speeches. They mark you as someone who cannot be shaken, someone who does not yield to the noise of the crowd. Withholding. Words is one of the sharpest blades you can wield. The more you speak, the more you reveal. The less you speak, the more each word lands like a strike. Consider the difference in framing. Weak, I'm just thinking, maybe we could try. Strong, this is the direction. Weak, I don't. No, but perhaps. Strong, here's what matters. A reputation of authority is built not by flooding conversations, but by choosing words as a general chooses battles, sparingly, with precision, and with maximum impact. Do not hand out your voice cheaply. Make it costly. People lean in when silence stretches because they want to know what the calm one will finally say. Picture a disagreement in a meeting. One person grows louder, defensive, throwing more words into the air. You remain still, shoulders squared, eyes steady, voice low. When you finally respond, you cut through the noise with a single line that carries weight. The room shifts, respect moves in your direction. Not because you overpowered with volume, but because you refuse to be drawn into disorder. This is weaponized stillness. This is how calm becomes dominance. By not reacting, you force others to react to you. By not rushing, you force others to wait for you. By not revealing, you force others to guess, and in guessing, they weaken. Do not underestimate this discipline. In a world addicted to noise, those who can stay still, deliberate, and silent rise above the clamor. Stillness is not the absence of action, it is the sharpening of action. It is the throne from which you decide, the chessboard move made after. Long calculation, the predator's patience before the strike. Cultivate it daily. Train your body to be unmoved, your voice to be measured, your words to be few and precise. Stillness is strength, silence is a sword. Reputation is not only built by what you do, but by what you refuse to allow. A fortress does not fall because of its walls. It falls because of the breaches it tolerates. Your reputation works the same way. If you keep weak ties, if you excuse mediocrity, if you bend under small compromises, others read it as softness. They assume they can test you, exploit you, or dismiss you. Cutting away weakness is not cruelty, it is survival. Every association either elevates or lowers you. The colleague who constantly complains, the friend who undermines discipline, the group that normalizes laziness, all of them drag your image into mediocrity. You may think loyalty requires enduring them, but loyalty to weakness is betrayal of yourself. Eliminate what corrodes your standing. Choose who surrounds you as a commander chooses soldiers with ruthless clarity. History shows that swiftness, in consequences, deters future challenges. A leader who hesitates to punish betrayal invites more betrayal. A manager who ignores disrespect encourages its repetition. When firmness is displayed early, it signals strength that prevents escalation. In every arena, from politics to business to personal life, Reputation is guarded not only by achievements but by boundaries enforced without apology. If someone disrespects you and you respond with nervous laughter or silence, you invite it again. If you respond with calm firmness, clear correction, steady tone, you deter it without excess. Weak. It's okay, don't worry. Strong. That will not happen again. The difference is not aggression, it is authority. Swift consequences are not cruelty, they are the armor of reputation. The most brutal cuts must often be made within. The guillotine of standards is aimed at your own excuses. Every time you say just this once, you undermine the image of strength you project. Every time you delay, procrastinate, or explain away weakness, you send a signal to yourself and to others that your standards are negotiable. Ruthlessness toward yourself is the highest discipline. If you eliminate your own excuses with the same decisiveness, you would eliminate a traitor. You signal invincibility. The mind learns quickly. Either it can deceive you or it cannot. Once it knows deception will be executed without hesitation, it stops trying. Reputation is built from this inner ruthlessness. The world respects the one who governs himself without mercy for weakness. Imagine being challenged in a group. Someone makes a dismissive remark about your commitment. If you downplay it or laugh nervously, your image erodes. If you stay calm and say, "That's inaccurate, my record speaks clearly," and then move on without excess, you establish a line. You show firmness without aggression, boundaries without desperation. People take note. The test does not repeat. Elimination is not always dramatic. Often it is a small but decisive refusal to let weakness stand. Reputation is steel forged through removal as much as addition. Every cut strengthens, every refusal sharpens. Every act of elimination declares silently that you are not to be played with, not to be lowered, not to be tested without cost. What you cut away defines you more than what you keep. The mask of command is more powerful than the loudest roar. Authority is not declared, it is perceived. A ruthless reputation is crafted not by constant assertion, but by the discipline of controlled appearances. Those who command themselves project command over others. Those who cannot master their own posture, tone, and presence reveal weakness no matter how many words they throw into the air. History shows that rulers who held their composure under pressure inspired greater fear and loyalty than those who raged uncontrollably. Composure is not passivity, it is a weapon that unsettles those who expect chaos. When you stay calm, you project that you are never at the mercy of circumstance. Calmness itself becomes intimidation. Mystery is armor. When you speak less, reveal less, and keep your plans guarded, you force others into uncertainty. Uncertainty is uncomfortable, and it tilts power toward the one who conceals. In modern settings, oversharing weakens authority. The colleague who explains every detail of his life loses presence, while the one who offers only what is necessary gains intrigue. Weak. I don't really know what I'm doing, but here's everything I'm trying. Strong. This is the approach I've chosen. Brevity and restraint signal certainty. Do not hand out your intentions to those who may use them against you. Let others guess. Let them miscalculate. Silence compels respect because it denies people the opportunity to pin you down. The more they wonder what you think, the more influence. You hold subtle dominance is the art of radiating mastery without force. It shows in posture, in tone, in the discipline of small gestures. Standing straight, breathing evenly, speaking slowly and deliberately, all communicate steadiness. You do not need to announce superiority. Your body declares it. Imagine a disagreement. Someone raises their voice, trying to pull you into escalation. If you remain composed, voice firm but calm, shoulders squared, and respond with precision, the power tilts toward you. They expose volatility while you project control. Dominance is not in outshouting, it is in outlasting. The one who remains centered becomes the one others unconsciously align with. Your reputation is always being sculpted by how you present yourself in moments of tension. Rage chips away at it. Carelessness cracks it. Composure, mystery, and subtle dominance polish it into steel. This is the mask of command. A face that reveals little, a voice that commands much, and a presence that suggests hidden strength. Do not underestimate its weight. You do not need to be loud to be feared. You do not need to be reckless to be respected. You need only discipline in how you show yourself to the world. The mask of command is silence, composure, and control. The ruthless reputation begins inside. With the assassin, you train against your own weakness. Comfort is the enemy that disguises itself as kindness. It whispers, rest longer, indulge more, avoid the hard choice. If you allow it space, it corrodes your edge. You cannot build a name that others fear and respect while being ruled by impulse. The inner assassin must rise to cut it down. Slay the craving for instant gratification. Each time you choose the easy pleasure over the difficult discipline, you give away sovereignty. Each small surrender weakens the myth of strength you are building. The habit of reaching for distraction, scrolling endlessly, indulging in food or comfort instead of work, is an assassination of your reputation. Reverse. It. Strike impulse before it strikes you. Refuse what weakens you and you project command. Excuses are the traitors of the mind. They seem loyal at first, soothing you with reasons why you cannot act now, why you had no choice, why circumstances are to blame. But every excuse is an act of treason. Leaders who let excuses thrive lose. The trust of their armies, and individuals who tolerate excuses lose the respect of those around them. History makes it clear, self-deception is poison to authority. If you say, I didn't have time, when in truth you wasted it, you fracture your credibility. If you say, I'll start tomorrow, you signal weakness. Weak, I tried but it was too hard. Strong, I failed because I did not commit. Ruthless honesty is execution. It cuts off the head of excuses so that your discipline can reign without rivals. You cannot be respected by others if you do not first respect yourself enough to remove self-deception. The inner assassin is not fueled by rage, but by calculation. You must become a cold strategist inside your own mind. Emotion cannot sit on the throne of decision. When impulse rises, when excuses whisper, when doubt crawls in, the strategist evaluates with detachment. Ask, does this action strengthen or weaken my standing? If it weakens, eliminate it without hesitation. This is not cruelty, it is loyalty to your highest standard. The assassin within must be precise, impartial, unbending. Feelings may protest, but feelings are subjects, not rulers. When you elevate calculation above comfort, you become untouchable. You show others that nothing bends you from discipline, not temptation, not rationalization, not softness. Picture a moment of temptation. A project due tomorrow, yet comfort invites you to relax. The weak voice says, I deserve a break. The assassin's blade cuts that thought immediately. You act, not because you feel like it, but because the strategist decided. That discipline radiates. When others see you consistently act without excuse, without indulgence, they recognize a will sharper than theirs. They respect it, they fear it, they cannot move you. Reputation is not only what you show the world, but what you slay within yourself. Each impulse you deny, each excuse you execute, each emotion you dethrone becomes a silent victory. These victories pile up until they form the armor of your name. Do not hesitate. Do not negotiate with weakness. Train the assassin inside to cut without mercy. Kill the weakness within, or it will kill the strength others see. Reputation is the wolf you feed. Every habit, every choice, every act of discipline or laziness becomes nourishment for either strength or weakness. If you feed distraction, the wolf of comfort grows fat, and soon it devours your potential. If you feed discipline, the wolf of power grows sharp, hungry, and feared. Modern life is full of small decisions that appear harmless but are lethal when repeated. Choosing the shortcut, skipping the workout, avoiding the difficult conversation, each is food for weakness. Choosing order, training your focus, completing the task, each is food for strength. The wolf you feed shapes the predator you become. History shows that reputations feared and respected were not built on sentiment but on ruthlessness. Leaders who endured did so because they rewarded loyalty without hesitation and punished betrayal without delay. When loyalty was met with generosity, followers saw devotion rewarded. When betrayal was met with swift consequence, enemies saw disobedience crushed. This balance of reward and punishment crafted reputations that endured for centuries. A ruler who failed to punish betrayal appeared soft, and softness invited more rebellion. A commander who ignored loyalty lost the hearts of his own men. Ruthlessness, in this context, was not cruelty for its own sake. It was clear. It was the discipline to feed only what strengthened authority and to starve what weakened it. The same principle applies to you. If you let betrayal of your own standards slide, you weaken your name. If you reward consistency, even privately, you reinforce the armor of your reputation. The wolf pack law is simple. Others align with the one who radiates dominance. In any group, power flows toward the one whose presence is decisive and assured. People instinctively follow strength because it offers protection and direction. If you feed the wolf of discipline inside yourself, that strength radiates outward. Colleagues sense it, friends recognize it, rivals hesitate before testing it. Imagine walking into a room where tension rises, the anxious scramble, trying to prove themselves with noise. The dominant stays calm, chooses words carefully, and holds posture. Without announcement, the pack shifts. Attention moves toward control. Respect moves toward steadiness. People align because they want to stand with the wolf, not against it. Every day you decide which wolf grows. Starve laziness. Do not give it even scraps. Feed discipline with consistency. Choose loyalty to your standards. Punish betrayal of your word with immediate correction. Reward your own victories, no matter how small, to reinforce the path of strength. In doing so, you craft a reputation not only others fear and respect, but one you trust yourself to carry. A ruthless reputation is not built on noise. It is built on feeding strength until it becomes the only presence within you. Feed the strong wolf, starve the weak one. Reputation is a chessboard. Every move you make is read, interpreted, and remembered. Just as in chess, the opening defines the pace of the entire game, so too your first impression sets the foundation of how others treat you. When you enter a room, when you speak for the first time, when you shake a hand, those are opening gambits. A sloppy opening signals weakness. A decisive opening signals strength. History shows that rulers, generals, and statesmen who established firm impressions early enjoyed a reputation that carried weight long after. They understood that the first move is not about immediate victory, but about shaping perception, establishing position, and forcing opponents to react. You must do the same. Guard your openings. Project clarity, not confusion. Command presence, not apology. Weak. I hope I'm not bothering. Strong. I'll be brief and direct. The first move either sets the tone of power or hands. It away. But on the chessboard of life, you will not win every exchange. Here is where calculated sacrifice becomes strategy. In chess, a pawn may be surrendered to position a rook for checkmate. In life, you may absorb small losses to win larger wars of perception. A ruthless reputation is not fragile. It does not crumble under minor defeats. It grows by using them strategically. Sometimes you concede a point in a debate, not because you lack conviction, but because it lures the other into overconfidence. Sometimes you let go of short-term validation to establish long-term authority. Sacrifice is not weakness when it is chosen. It is a trap. The world reads the ability to let go without panic as a sign of deeper strength. Panic signals fragility. Composure signals strategy. Others respect the one who can lose small battles, yet remain positioned for victory. The ultimate reputation is the checkmate of fear, where others assume defeat before they even challenge you. In chess, a player with a formidable record intimidates opponents before the game begins. Likewise, when you consistently project strength, enforce standards, and demonstrate composure, you build an aura that discourages opposition. People think twice before testing you because history has shown them the cost. This aura is not fabricated. It is the product of repeated displays of discipline, presence, and clarity. Over time, it becomes a myth. Others tell stories about your firmness, your composure, your refusal to bend. That myth is the checkmate. It prevents battles before they start. It saves energy by winning through perception rather than constant struggle. Imagine a disagreement in a workplace. One person rushes to prove their point with volume and frantic gestures. You sit back, hands steady, listening. After the noise dies, you respond with a single clear line. Here's the decisive fact. The room shifts. The battle is over, not because you are overwhelmed with words, but because you moved with precision. You anticipated, you sacrificed unnecessary defense, and you delivered the checkmate of calm authority. This is chess. This is reputation. Every step in your life is a piece placed on the board. Every choice either strengthens your position or exposes you. Treat impressions as openings. Treat small concessions as sacrifices for greater control. Build an aura so strong that others feel checkmated before making their first move. Reputation is the chessboard. Play with strategy, not impulse. Rituals forge steel. Your reputation is not the product of one dramatic moment, but the repeated hammering of daily discipline. Each repetition strikes the metal of your character until it hardens into something others cannot bend. Soldiers drill the same movement countless times, so that in battle they act without hesitation. Craftsmen strike the same iron again and again until it becomes unbreakable. The same law governs your reputation. Repetition is the weapon that forges your will into steel. Every time you wake on time, finish a task, hold your standard, you are hammering your name into shape. Skip the ritual, and the steel softens. Keep it, and the edge sharpens. Authority comes not from one gesture of discipline, but from the visible pattern of hundreds. Others see the scars of discipline. They may not know your exact routines, but they see the marks they leave. They see the posture of someone who has trained their body and mind. They see the calm of someone hardened by repetition. They see reliability. That does not shake when tested. A reputation of strength is visible in the way you carry yourself, in the way you respond under pressure. Modern life is full of distractions and indulgence, and most people show it. Their words wobble. Their habits are inconsistent. Their energy is scattered. When you are different, when you are sharp, ordered, resilient, people notice. Respect follows visible hardness. They may never witness the hours you sacrificed, but they sense the weight of the work in the way you stand. Rituals are more than habits. They become the fortress of reputation. Imagine building a castle. Each brick is a repeated act, small on its own, but together they form walls no enemy can breach. When you hold to your rituals long enough, they construct an indestructible frame around your life. You no longer rely on fleeting motivation. You no longer wonder if you will act. The fortress is there, protecting your name, projecting your authority. Others test you and find no weakness because the walls of repetition hold. This is why ritual must be guarded like territory. Do not negotiate it away. Do not hand it over to comfort. Each ritual you abandon is a crack in the wall. Each ritual you keep is a stone set firmly in place. Consider a small test. A friend mocks your routine, suggesting you relax or indulge. If you yield, you show the fortress is thin. If you stay calm, smile, and continue without apology, you signal unshakable standards. Weak. Maybe you're right. I should ease up. Strong. This is what I do. It keeps me sharp. That response is not stubbornness, it is sovereignty. It shows your rituals are not optional. They are law, and law enforced consistently earns respect even from critics. Your reputation becomes iron through these rituals. The hammer is repetition. The scars are proof. The fortress has an indestructible frame. You do not need grand declarations. You need consistency that cannot be broken. Build it, defend it, and let the world see only steel. Rituals are the hammer that forge the iron will. To become untouchable, you must wear your reputation like armor. Insults and slander bounce off because you do not bend to them. The moment you react to gossip, you give it life. The moment you defend against petty attacks, you lower yourself to the level of those who thrive on weakness. Indifference crushes, slander more effectively than retaliation. In modern life, gossip spreads fast, but its power relies on your response. If you remain calm, steady, and focused, the noise fades. People recognize strength in the one who does not flinch. Weak. That's not true, let me explain. Strong. Believe what you want, my results speak. This detachment is not arrogance, it is a strategy. It shows that your energy is reserved for battles worth fighting, not for whispers that cannot touch the throne. Feared authority is the shield that prevents many attacks from even forming. When your reputation precedes you as one who enforces standards, who does not tolerate disrespect, challenges rarely appear. History repeatedly shows that rulers and commanders with a reputation for swift and firm responses were tested less often than those who appeared lenient. Fear and respect intertwine in this way. People may not love the strict leader, but they know defiance carries consequence. The same principle applies in personal life. When others know you as consistent, disciplined, and unwavering, they calculate carefully before they cross you. They may not say it aloud, but your reputation alone changes their choices. The feared authority does not need to be loud. It exists in the memory of past firmness, in the myth of your standards, in the knowledge that testing you will not be cheap. Over time, this reputation becomes more than human. It becomes a shadow of power. The details of your actions fade, but the impression remains. People tell stories, exaggerate your firmness, build myths around your presence. You become more of a symbol than an individual, untouchable because people cannot separate the man from the legend. This shadow protects you. It acts before you arrive, it speaks when you are silent. The myth of strength is stronger than daily arguments because it is carried by the minds of others. They assume you cannot be beaten, and so they hesitate before trying. They assume you cannot be shaken, and so they hold back. A ruthless reputation, crafted through years of consistency, grows into an aura that shields you without effort. Imagine being confronted in a room where someone tries to undermine you with a joke. You do not rush to defend. You do not glare or shout. You smile faintly, remain composed, and continue speaking with authority. The attack dies on its own. Others take note that you are beyond reach. This is how immunity, authority, and shadow combine into untouchability. You waste no energy on gossip. You establish a feared standard, and you allow your myth to precede you. This is not about cruelty. It is about armor. Reputation becomes the shield that allows you to walk unbothered through attacks that would wound lesser men. The untouchable wear reputation as armor. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Machiavelli's lesson cuts to the heart of reputation, and here every principle converges. Fear without respect is tyranny. Love without fear is weakness. But when fear and respect unite, they forge the armor of sovereignty. This is the ruthless reputation in its highest form, your ultimate shield and your sharpest weapon. It is what allows you to stand above insult, resist manipulation, and command obedience without lifting a hand. When people know you will not bend, when they know you enforce boundaries, when they know you carry discipline like a blade, they treat you differently. They measure their words around you. They calculate before they cross you. They feel the cost of disrespect before they even act. This is the weight of fear and respect combined. Reputation is the crown of perception, and it rests on your head, long before your voice enters the room. In modern life, impressions move faster than reality. People form judgments in seconds. They watch posture, tone, and consistency, and from these fragments they build an image. That image is more powerful than explanations. You may spend hours telling someone who you are, but the way you carry yourself in one moment speaks louder. This is why reputation must be constructed like a throne, deliberate, steady, immovable. The throne does not ask to be recognized. It simply exists, and those who see it bow instinctively. When you project certainty, others entrust you with authority. When you project disorder, they strip you of it. A ruthless reputation means shaping perception until others enthrone you without argument. The transformation is complete when you shift from pawn to predator king. At first you may feel tested, underestimated, pushed aside. People treat you as expendable. But as you apply each principle, commanding the throne of your mind, winning the morning battlefield, weaponizing stillness, eliminating weakness, wearing the mask of command, training the inner assassin, feeding the wolf of discipline, playing the chessboard with strategy, and forging the iron will through ritual, you change position. Each act builds myth, each victory builds an aura. You rise step by step from obscurity to sovereignty. The Predator King does not need to shout. He does not chase approval. He does not justify himself against every critic. His reputation does the work for him. People align because they fear the cost of opposition and respect the power of his composure. Consider a confrontation. A rival mocks you in front of others, hoping to expose weakness. If you respond defensively, explaining or retaliating in anger, you appear shaken. If you remain calm, hold silence, then answer with one sharp, measured line, the atmosphere changes. The rival looks desperate. You look immovable. This moment is not about winning a debate. It is about demonstrating that you cannot be rattled. Weak. That's not fair, you're misrepresenting me. Strong. Your opinion changes nothing. The difference is not in logic, but in presence. The Predator King always wins the room because the room recognizes the crown of perception he wears. Your ruthless reputation is not decoration. It is armor against petty attacks, and it is a weapon against real threats. It shields you by discouraging trivial challenges. It advances you by commanding loyalty and compliance. Over time, the myth of your consistency and authority grows larger than any single act. People remember the firmness, not the details. They remember the composure, not the arguments. They remember that when tested, you did not bend. And in remembering, they give you more than respect. They give you sovereignty. This is the final transformation, from pawn overlooked to knight maneuvering, to Predator King ruling the board. From ordinary presence easily dismissed, to untouchable. Figures others revolve around. Your ruthless reputation becomes your crown, your fortress, and your sword. Do not waste energy on proving yourself endlessly. Do not allow weakness to leak into your record. Stand tall, project clarity, guard your rituals, enforce your standards, and let your myth spread in whispers. Soon, you will notice people lowering their tone around you, speaking with more care, treating your time with more weight. That is when you will know the throne has been built. That is when you will know you have become untouchable. Rule with fear and respect, and you rise as the Predator King. Weakness is punished. History proves it. Those who fail to build a reputation of strength are manipulated, betrayed, and forgotten. A leader who shows softness without balance invites challengers. An individual who fails to command respect becomes expendable. Reputation is the battlefield where perception dictates survival. If you are seen as indecisive, others will exploit it. If you are seen as fragile, others will test you. Without a ruthless reputation, you stand exposed, and exposure makes you prey. The cost of failure is not just lost opportunities, it is insignificant. No one waits for the weak. No one follows the uncertain. The world moves past those who cannot hold ground. But mastery reverses the equation. With a ruthless reputation, you project fearlessness. You no longer bend to gossip or flinch under judgment. People treat you differently because they know what you represent: sovereignty, consistency, control. In modern life, this shows in the colleague who is never late, who keeps his word, who does not excuse weakness. His discipline builds trust. His presence commands respect. He does not need to demand recognition. His name carries weight. That is the reward of mastery. Freedom from petty attacks, freedom from manipulation, freedom from being overlooked. Your reputation becomes a shield, and it grants you space to act with authority. Consider a moment when someone dismisses you with a sarcastic remark in front of others. If you rush to defend, you lose stature. If you remain calm, allow the silence. To sting and then respond with one clear line: "I prefer results over talk," the room shifts. You have not lowered yourself to their level. You have shown that you are untouchable. This is what a ruthless reputation does. It silences critics without effort and strengthens authority without excess. Weak. Please don't say that. Strong. That's beneath my standard. Every response either chips at or sharpens your crown. All the principles converge here. The throne of the mind, the battlefield of mourning, the silence of stillness, the discipline of elimination, the mask of command, the assassin within, the feeding of the strong wolf, the chessboard of strategy, the iron ritual, all of them forge the same outcome. You become sovereign, not because you declared it, but because your reputation made it undeniable. You built the fortress brick by brick, you carried yourself with consistency, you eliminated softness, and now you stand untouchable. The lesson seals itself. Without reputation, you are prey, with it you are king. Build the ruthless name and the world kneels before it.